Building civic empathy through political conversations. To begin with, I would like to talk about why I chose this topic. I started with an interest in increasing civic engagement in society. How can we engage people in political discussions and help them feel more engaged in politics? As professors of informatics Hamid, Ekbia, and Nardi said, technologies are inherently political, as are design choices, and pretending otherwise is not going to erase politics from human-computer interactions. This brings forth the questions: can we promote awareness of policy initiatives by HCI? Can we motivate people from different sides of the political spectrum to come into consensus through design? I started with a variety of secondary research sources. I researched on the evolution of war through the ages, how people develop political perceptions, and plotted a matrix of various political systems. In finding definitions of war, I was interested in wars between ideologies and generations. While looking at how people develop perceptions, philosophers Chalmers, French, and professor of cognitive science Hofstadter talked about how the flexibility of human perception derives from constant interaction with the conceptual level. This means that perceptions can be shaped through interactions. Knowing this, I became more interested in how we can develop civic empathy. How can we deal with the emotional needs of Hong Kongers in increasingly stressful political climates? In a Chinese university study, researchers found that many citizens participated in political movements, which was led by youth and might have increased the general public's mental distress. News reports have reported on the intergenerational spat that has played out in many families across Hong Kong over the past month, as violence and unrest rock the city. Pro-democracy protesters tend to be younger, millennials, even teenagers, while the pro-government camp leans toward the older generation. The Chinese University School of Journalism conducted a social media analysis of Facebook posts. In more recent events, negative comments appeared which were obvious and extreme, and they tended to link negative political results to the elderly. In response to the generational differences in Hong Kong, 17-year-old protester Helen said this: "The important thing is to keep communicating and trying to reach out. After all, the old were once young, and today's young people will be old one day." These generational political lines are also seen around the world, such as the Brexit issue in Britain and the Trump presidency in the United States. This is a global issue. So the question is, can we help different generations communicate? Political philosopher Michael J. Sando wrote in his book, "Democracy does not require perfect equality, but it does require that citizens share in a common life. This is how we come to care for the common good." This leads to my primary research, where I focused on the methods that help people understand other parties. I researched on 7 participants of different generations with a journaling probe, asking them about their feelings about the news. I found out that even those who spend the time to read news will still have their own ideologies and will not easily be changed by the news. I also conducted a co-design workshop. Choosing from a set of envisioning cards, they designed based on the emotions of loss of culture, powerlessness, and fear of future. The findings were that companionship is important for feeling what other people feel. Then, I did user testing on various methods to see which was best for feeling others' feelings, through social media, voice messages, or videos. It turns out that voice messages were most preferred for building empathy. I originally wanted to create an installation. However, after researching on which format users are most inclined to use, most chose website to be the most feasible platform. I did 3 more rounds of testing to improve the user experience of the prototype, and I came up with this final prototype of the website. And the app, which I will detail later in my scenario video. To conclude, through my research, I found out that users do want to interact with those of different opinions than themselves. Everyone loves Hong Kong in their own ways. The key is to help people understand why others think the way they do. Finally, I must stress that all algorithms are unavoidably political. But what we as designers can do is to create a reasonable platform where people are encouraged to respect each other. Thank you for listening.